Hey guy, how are you?
Hey Paul, good mate. How are you?
Wonderful. It's great to see you again. I always love seeing the great background. I know there's good music coming.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
the
that's
synthesizers are good.
well, good. Well, we will get to the music, but first we got to talk about this movie. This is so good, and it looked like not every movie is fun to make, but this one looked like it was pretty cool set to be on,
Uh
right?
yeah, it was great. It was great fun, primarily because of the people, DeWanda and Ned, and Jack, of course, and little Emily, our girl, and of course then the great Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
Um, we're just DeWanda and Ned especially because they were who I spent most of my time with, were just fantastic. So, that to me is the number one thing is having great people to work with. But the material, of course, you know, Ned wrote a pretty funny but dark script.
Mhm.
So it was really, yeah, it was just amazing to get to sort of tell this story that he had created, and he's a joy to be around. So it was good fun. It was pretty grotty and dirty. I was covered in blood most of the time, but it was all right.
Yeah. And the desert can be unpredictable, right?
The desert can be unpredictable, but it's never usually as bad as as it looks. Also, we've got tents that we can go under, and we're drinking water all the time, and so we're well looked after.
Yeah, and Ned was is saying, it's kind of his blind optimism that kind of kept it going through. That did that help a lot? Just kind of like, oh no, it's great, we got this.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's Ned's got a very engaging and buoyant and positive kind of outlook. And then he's also really he was just very gracious in the first thing he said to me was, "Look, you've done tons more movies than I have. I know I need to refer to you in regard to lots of things, so I want to really make this be a collaboration. I'm not here to tell you what to do." And so he was very gracious, as I say, and I said, "Well, fantastic, thank you. I'm not going to step on your toes, and I'm not going to try and make a different movie than what you want to make. I love what you've written, and I just want to make this movie." So we'd had some great chats before we even got on set together,
Yeah,
and yeah, just generally had a pretty good time.
oh, that's great. Well, I mean, you've always done things at such a high level, and people look up to you and they say, "I want to do what you do," but it's so much harder than you can imagine. What kind of advice do you give them?
Oh, well, learn your lines. I mean, I never usually try and give advice unless someone specifically asks for a certain piece of advice, and it always feels funny giving advice, but I suppose the number one thing is to just be sure of why you want to do this. Why is it that you want to be an actor? What is that actually about? What is it that you're trying to find and explore, etc. And if it's about kind of just being famous, if it's about making a lot of money, then great, whatever. Like, just at least admit that, at least own up to that and be honest about that. And then hopefully if you can look deeper and deeper as to why you're sort of doing this. So I think staying true to that initial drive is good to be aware of.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. So my co-host is Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys who caught the Hail Mary, went in the Hall of Fame. It's the 50th anniversary of the Hail Mary. We know the term now. But he told me I had to ask you your Hail Mary moment, the moment in your life or career where you just kind of had to go for it and it worked out for you.
Well, I think probably making the decision to go to the States, and I went to America in 1994 with Priscilla, and I was really reluctant to go, and I had a few people say, "No, no, go and meet some agents," and I really sort of bit the bullet and sort of decided to go and met a great agent, and within a year and a half I was looking at then doing LA Confidential. So, I think I kind of go, wow, that so easily could have not happened if
Yeah.
if I hadn't, if I hadn't have made that leap. So that's probably it, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and
Yeah.
then part of it is that mindset that you have to, just to stay in what you're doing, and especially given the conditions, and like something like this in the desert. What do you keep in mind that kind of keeps you on the right path always?
Well, I think it's it's at least with each job, with each script, like what is it we're looking for here? Why are we making this film? What is it we're trying to say? What is it I can offer? Again, it sort of comes back, I suppose, to the general
Yeah.
advice that I'm talking about, which is why do you do this? You've got to, I think, I mean, because I'll look at scripts sometimes and be, slightly swayed by the fact I'm being offered too much money for it and go, oh, yeah, no, this is a really good script, actually. Yeah, no, this is great. And really going, yeah, it's not, is it? They're just trying to trick me into doing this by offering me lots of money. And, so I'm going to say no. Um, so I think because I have done jobs before where I've taken the money, or I've been sort of, yeah, not that anyone's tricked me into doing something, but where I've allowed myself to feel like I'm doing it for the right reasons, but I'm not. And I'm halfway through the job going, giving myself a hard time going, why am I doing this? So I think I'd rather have a good experience and an honest experience on a film and the film not work out so good than be on a film where I just don't believe that I should be there. I think it's more important to feel like I'm being authentic to my craft, for want of a better word, and the validity of the movie itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know that with this movie, of course, it's meant for entertainment purposes. It's highly entertaining, but there's some stuff being said here too. What are you hoping that people will talk about besides, oh, that was really fun?
Well, it's interesting because I know that people take away different things from every movie, and you can have 10 different audience members sort of see 10 different things in any film. But I suppose that the questions that we always have about good and evil and whether we've got good in us or evil in us, I think this idea that we can live with both, that just because you do a bad thing one day doesn't mean you're a bad person. It might mean that you just had a bad day and that then try a little harder the next day. The simplicity of that, I suppose, is something that I think people might tap into with this. Um, yeah, I sort of, I mean, the questions for my character in the film are sort of about redemption, like whether to make the effort to redeem himself or not. And I think it's always worth redeeming yourself. And I would hope perhaps that if people watch this film and they've got things that they might need to find redemption over, that this might inspire them to do so, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now we got to talk about, of course, you got all the great instruments behind you. Are we going to get some good music from you here pretty soon?
Well, I don't know. I'm literally going through sort of a whole lot of old demos, listening to those crappy demos and turning them into much better demos
Yeah.
so I can then have those 20 or 30 songs, on my phone. I can listen to them when I walk the dog. I can just have them with me to see whether or not there's an album's worth of stuff in there, which I feel like there is. I'm just still sort of still working on them and sort of changing lyrics and kind of seeing what if there's a connection between songs, or whether this might just be a group of songs that have nothing to do with each other. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm 57, so albums to me are, I still come from that world.
Mhm.
Uh, but I just love making music. So, I would hope I don't want to put out another record unless I feel like it's kind of
Yeah.
going to be good,
Yeah.
which I'm sure is what everybody thinks. So, I just want to find the best material that I've got and actually make a record out of that. So I don't know how soon it's going to be though.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, last thing after this, I can't wait to see what you do next. It's always a joy to see you. What are we going to see you in next?
I did a film, an Australian prison movie called Inside, which is a pretty hard-hitting film, which sort of came out not long ago. I've done a Netflix film with Keira Knightley called Woman in Cabin 10, which just opened, or no, opens October the 10th.
Yes.
So pretty much that, I think, is the next thing. Yeah, yeah.
Well, for now, we're going to tell everyone to see this on the big screen if they can. It's so much fun. Really appreciate your time. The great answers is always great to see you, and look forward to talking again soon.
You too as well, man. Good to talk
All
to
right,
you.
thanks so
Appreciate
much.
it.
Okay,
Right.
bye-bye.